Hi, my name's Tian Dayton. I'm a psychodramatist and a psychologist. Psychodrama is a system created by J.L. Moreno, Psychodrama Sociometry Group Psychotherapy. He is known as the father of group psychotherapy, and this is an application of psychodrama and the techniques of psychodrama that can be used in one-to-one, it can be used in group, and it can be used to dig in on a particular issue of attachment. We're using two chairs facing each other. It's the technique of the empty chair. It's one of psychodrama's most user-friendly techniques. It's wonderful. Zirka Moreno came upon it spontaneously in groups, so it really originated with her, Moreno's wife, Moreno, who created psychodrama. What you'll see in our protagonist Dion's drama is the role of fame that he developed as a child in order to deal with circumstances that he found overwhelming. The role was both protective and proactive. However, what served Dion as a young man is really in his way as a mature man. The role needs to be re-examined and brought back into balance at this phase of his development so that it can continue to serve him. Using it in this way allows, for example, one-to-one therapy to become psychodramatic. So that over time, as one explores attachment issues in one-to-one, you have a psychodramatic vehicle that is very accessible. It can also be used in groups. It can be used two empty chairs in the center of a group, and group members can take turns exploring attachment. The thing about attachment issues is we attach in a very full body way. Anyone who's raised a child, had a baby, nurtured a child, doesn't need to have that explained to them. The child attaches full body. So we need a kind of therapy that allows the body to enter the therapeutic process. The usefulness of isolating this is that we can apply a few techniques psychodramatically and really kind of dig in to how those attachments get set up, how complex they become, and how we can make some shifts, subtle shifts that actually are profound shifts. And you will see that as Dion, who is so expressive and wonderful to watch, does this drama. You'll see me using the techniques of role reversal, doubling, interview in role reversal, when protagonists reverse roles, when Dion is playing fame or playing his childhood self, his mother, I can ask questions. And the beauty of that is when the protagonist spontaneously answers questions as the other person or part of self, they get a direct line to the information. It just pops out of them. They also have the advantage of showing us what that role is like and how it lives inside of them, what that person is like. It's very demonstrative, it's creative, it's to the point, and it accesses the mind and the body. So you'll also see at the end, you will see us use the technique of soliloquy. Now the soliloquy I often use if somebody's frozen, for example, because something's been traumatizing, I might let the protagonist take a break and walk and talk or do the soliloquy. It's really narrating what's going on in your inner world. That can kind of help a protagonist unfreeze. You can introduce a drama with a soliloquy. It's always walking and talking. In this case, we did it still because we're filming it. But you'll hear Dion essentially doing the soliloquy of the role he has added, the role of the mid-range. In psychodrama, role theory, we don't amputate roles. We don't seek to get rid of roles. We create change by letting some roles reduce and adding new roles. So roles can be in a descendant state or an ascendant state. But we add new roles to create change. And we don't see ourselves as needing to delete parts of self. And you'll learn something about how to apply these techniques. Dion, are you ready to do some, empty chair work?
I think I am.
Okay.
I think I am.
That's
No.
close enough.
I'm completely ready.
I'm completely warmed up. Okay, we've done a warm-up. Dion's ready, and this is the empty chair into which you can put a part of yourself, a person you want to talk to, an issue you want to dialogue with that's inside of yourself or outside of yourself, a future self, and anything we can think of we can put into this empty chair. And I will use psychodramatic techniques to further the action, essentially. And that will be role reversal. I'll sometimes interview you in role reversal. I might do a soliloquy. I will definitely double. When I double, I'll stand behind you, or sort of behind you, and speak your inner life, or that which I assume to be your inner life. If it doesn't fit for you, just ignore it. Or I might say, does that fit? And you might say, absolutely not. You might say yes. And then see it as kind of an inner voice. Pay no attention to me, right? It's just me trying to get material from the unconscious to the conscious, because particularly, when we're scared, let's say traumatized, thinking mind shuts down, the limbic world revs up. That's the fight flight. So what happens in a situation like that is we pull in all of the somatic sensory material, the emotional material, which is all that the limbic system processes, and we are left with a lot of what are called body memories these days. We have the sights and the sounds and the smells all stored in us, but no storyline, because the thinking part of the brain was shut down. So part of what we're doing when we do a deep work is reconnecting that unconscious with the conscious through the double. The other way we use doubling is simply to explore deeper layers of the self. Sometimes it's hard to say from this role what's going on deep. We all walk around, right, with a lot of surplus reality, a lot of depth that we don't speak from here. But the more the constrictions, the less we're letting our real self seep out. So
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
No, it is fascinating.
It's simple, but it's deep, right? So here you go. It's your stage.
Okay.
From here on in, kind of ignore me. I'll be moving in and out, but it's your stage.
Okay.
And I'm here to serve your drama.
Okay, thank you. I think there's something going on now where I'm transitioning from, I was going to be a star when I was young, okay? And I was going to save the family by being a star. And now I'm using the tools of the theater, the tools of improvisation, more to help people and bring them together, people that are in recovery, people that have other purposes where they might want to advance themselves. So there's this transitional difficulty I'm having between letting go of the idea of being a star. So I need to talk to somebody. I'm not sure. Maybe it's my mom. Maybe it's fame. Maybe I need to talk to fame or something that really is the front edge. This isn't like a canned thing that I've already worked through. This is really front edge. So, and it's interfering because my mind is still in the one world and all the fantasy of the fame and all I think that's could be. And the other one is, transitioning to this thing I've kind of actually been called to do a little bit more fervently or whatever by the universe, it seems. So I'm in a transition period, and I don't know what. Maybe I could just talk to fame. I want to talk to fame.
Got it.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
Fame, what are you doing, oh buddy? I mean, you came into my trailer when I was a kid, and I just was like, "You're gonna get me out of here." You were like a rescuing prince that would come to save the princess, and I guess I was the princess in that deal. You were gonna save me, you were gonna come rescue me and get me out of the trailer park, and you're like an old friend, like I see you. It's weird. I can kind of see you, like, yeah, and I don't want to leave you behind, but I feel like there's a lot here. That's I don't know what I need to say to you. I don't want to let you go. That's what it is. I don't want to let you go.
Reverse roles. I don't want to let
Yes, it is I. It is I, yes, fame. That elusive elixir, that wonderful fop. Yes, I'm here to spin perfumed tales of how you're going to get from where you are to wherever that fantastic future is. And I can spin those tales all day to make you feel better.
So, Fame, may I ask you a few questions?
Yes, please do.
Oh.
I love to hold forth.
Okay, so let us expand on, I mean, personally, I see Dion as kind of famous. So I'm wondering why he's so thinking, does he know he has achieved a level of fame?
No. He hasn't achieved the kind of fame. The kind of fame that I am. So it's a lovely point that you make. It's the kind of fame I have achieved is the kind of fame that is always just out of reach. It has to be by design. It's just around the corner. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Reverse role.
Holy shitballs. Sorry. Should I have said that?
Feel free.
We didn't talk about it. You can say what you can say. No, because that was really helpful because I was just talking to somebody. Fame. Okay. Fame. Fear of missing out. I just coached someone yesterday that the fear of missing out that they were experiencing was not necessary. That there is no over there. And I never saw you as something that has to be impossible to reach. You have to be impossible to reach. Yes, I have had a level of exposure and what some maybe would call success in my field that others from another point of view would say, wow, I'd like to do that. I'd like to be on national television over 150 times or present my character or play a former president. And I get that. And yet that's the piece of you that is troubling to me because it's out of reach.
It's unattainable, which is the elixir, which is the draw, which is the glue that keeps me
hooked.
Hooked.
It's like an addiction. It's an addiction, and you are the spout, the weaver of the tale. You're weaving the tale.
So maybe I can pull this chair back.
Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at you.
Oh.
You know, I feel like I should be mad at you for being misleading, but you're a charming old. You know who you are? You're the father, Tyrone Guthrie, in Long Day's Journey into Night. You are like this. You know, you've got you can spin the tales and make everybody. You know, you're charming. That's it. You're charming, but you're not in reality.
And you're a little bit not in reality for specific reasons.
Well, I guess, you know, you were appealing to me because I didn't want to be in my reality. You know, I'm in my bedroom. And you appear and you say, there's this wonderful world of success and fame just around the corner. I want to go with you.
Reverse roles.
You want to go with me? I know you want to go with me. That's where I want you to go. I want you to follow me. I'm some combination between Errol Flynn and Peter O'Toole, and I don't even have what are the words. I'm a raconteur. I'm a bit of a rake or a scoundrel, you know.
So Errol, what would you say to Dion and his wish to be kind of glued to this kind of thing?
Just orbit around me and you'll have fun. Just stay in my orbit, kid, and you'll be fine. I'm such a star. I'm a star. Do you understand what a star is? It has things in its orbit. Just move around me and pick up the gold and the grapes and the wine that splash over to the side. There's plenty left. Don't worry about it. Don't pick it apart.
Reverse role.
That's not enough, man. When you put it like that, that's like I'm just totally, with what I know now, it's like I'm a total codependent appendage or satellite personality to your central thing. And what's funny is as I'm saying this, I feel like I should be so mad at you, and I am not. And I want to be. I want to be mad at you.
So I want to tell you why I'm not mad at you.
I want to tell you why I'm not mad at you. You're fun. You're fun. You're exciting.
And you got me out of that trailer.
You got me out of that trailer. You made it so that I could make friends. I took that on. I became that.
There's parts of you I want to keep.
There are parts of you I want to keep. I can do that.
You can keep parts. You can let go of parts. It's your stage.
That's interesting because I was thinking I have to, like, all or nothing. I've got to, there's my black and white thinking. I'm thinking I got to decide whether you're good or bad and get rid of, oh, interesting. Yes. Can the best parts of you come with me while I go into this more helping field?
Reverse roles.
Oh, no. I won't be helping. No, I won't be helping. I mean, the help that I give is to inform the text. I inform the text and I, enlighten perhaps the masses, but that's the writer doing that through me. I am but a humble channel for the writer. But I won't be going around and, leading your
He wants to be the writer now, Fame. I mean, he wants to do this spontaneous work and let the people doing the work be the writers. So you're the vehicle for the writer, the channel for the writer. Mm-hmm. But he's talking.
Oh, you want to be my writer? Is that it?
Reverse role.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I want to be a writer. I guess, yeah. Maybe you're part of the front that I put up with it. Look, when I do a presentation, people are laughing. They like it. They enjoy it. They get insight. That's you. I feel like that is you that's up there. That's not me. It's a version of myself. That's you. And I want to...
It's become me because I'm the one that's up there. I'm the one they're laughing with.
Oh, no. You protect me. You protect me.
Tell them why.
You protect me from the... You're more confident than I am. You're more confident than I am. And you are up. You absorb it all. You're funny. You're large. I'm insecure. I have doubts. I go back and forth. I'm neurotic. I'm prosecutorial. I've got these nasty parts that are, these character flaws that come out. You are like. You know what you are? You're like the ghost of Christmas Present. You've got that big robe and there's plenty and everything is wonderful and you're confident and you're not scared and petty and small and I admire that. You've got that big green robe and the big beard and you're like there's a cornucopia of everything and everything's plentiful with you. And I like that and people respond to that person. When you're on stage for me, people enjoy it.
Reverse roles.
That's very nice of you. I like that. I think that's, a kind acknowledgement.
So, Fame, are you up for something?
Yes.
Would you stand behind your chair?
Sure.
And double for yourself?
Now, I'm very large. I'm afraid I'm going to go out of frame. Is it okay if I come back here? Can I come here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You're in the double position.
Because I'm always aware of the frame.
We'll keep you in the frame. You'll rule the frame. This is your frame.
Thank you.
This, the double,
yes,
is what's not coming out here. This is what you're not letting him see. Because he thinks you never have an insecure moment.
I have to keep moving. I don't want him to know, if there's something I don't want him to know, is that I have to do this. I have to keep moving. I have to keep, again, perfuming the air with my scent and my brand and my words. And because I have to keep it all going. I don't know what's going to happen if I stop it or slow down. I don't like to look in those places, and he likes to look in all of the crannies and the nooks and all of that stuff. But this is the presentation. He likes to present the result of all of that exploration and work. That's the writer. The writer is the digger. I am
Channel.
The channel, the character, you know, that's.
But you know what?
Mhm.
That's from this chair, Fame.
Yes.
Can you even get behind yourself and double what's going on
Well,
the inside?
I would say only the only part, maybe, I went back into it, but the part about I don't want to slow down. I don't want to find out about other people, or stop talking, or stop monologuing, you know. And I wouldn't say that to him.
As long as I have the floor.
Yeah, as long as I have the floor, then.
As long as I keep narrating my experience.
Yes.
I don't have to let anything impinge on my dream.
That's right, my dreams.
Because if other people open their mouths and insert their experience, I fill that in.
Well, it's other abusive people. They'll criticize me. They'll hurt me with their words. I have to keep up a wall of entertainment and keep them on their back heels so that they can't get at me with the words that my mother used to say or that the neighborhood kids would say.
So I have to keep very, very busy because my
Yes.
version of what's out there is quite hostile.
Yeah, it's quite hostile, and I can't let him know that. I don't want to bring him into all of that. So.
But curiously, he's had a very similar experience. I think if you let him know that, you'd be doing him a favor. What do you think?
Well, I can try it.
Okay, we might be, okay.
Listen, kid, I'll level with you like a famous actor did with me one time. Well, did with you actually one time backstage of the Shakespeare in the Park. And I'll let you know something. I actually can't stop this whole thing. This whole me thing. Because I don't want to take in anyone else's reality, anyone else's words, anyone else's stuff, ideas, thoughts, opinions, criticisms mostly.
I'm afraid that if I take in more from outside.
I'm afraid that if I take in more from outside, I'll be overwhelmed. I'll be eradicated. I'll disappear. And I do not want to disappear. I want to be here. And I'm fun. I'm fun, and it's good to have me here and around, but I don't want to be overwhelmed by someone else's monologue of misery, or, you know. So there's no space here, you know, there's no space, and I don't want you to talk. I love that you're an empty chair, because you can't talk. You can't talk.
And I have complete control of the stage.
Yes.
I can put anyone in there
Yes,
I want to
that's
put.
right.
I can take them out again.
Yes.
Oof.
Oh, and I can give them words. I can be their writer, you know. No, but I will say, on the other side, I do let a writer's words in because I know they have been sweated for, and edited, and really thought about. These are not the offhanded remarks of a reactionary person. These have been thought about and constructed. So I do open myself to channel those kinds of polished words. And I like that because I like the feeling of serving. But my only way that I'm able to serve is by serving a text that has been thought through, not the irrational ravings and momentary displeasure of a central drunken, emotionally unsober person. I'll be honest with you.
Who hurt you, Fame?
Oh, my mother. Your mother.
His mother.
Your mother. Your mother.
Do you think he wants to talk to her?
He probably could get something from it. It would be a great scene in a play.
Up to him.
Would you be willing to try?
Reverse roles.
Well, it's scary because, I mean, it's scary to think about that because it's, you know, I don't know. A little bit. Yeah, sure, I go into it a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what we need to do is have another chair to represent her.
And,
so, Dion, what would you like to say
well,
to
the
Mom?
first thing I've noticed is that I've crossed my legs like Fame. I've taken that on. So, Mom. You hurt me sometimes with your words. wasn't as strong as, as my joking nature would make it seem. My tough skin, my you can't hurt me attitude. It's not really the truth, I can be hurt. In fact, I don't really like to say you hurt me to people. I almost never say it, you hurt me. I won't tell anybody that, because I always think that's like blamey. But it comes from, that stuff. And I went through years of raging and yelling and things like that at you, but now it's just like simply, it did hurt. And it's still impacting me. That's the part. Okay, there it is. Yes, maybe excuse me. It hurt me.
Where are you feeling it?
Oh, here.
Right. So
Chest.
if this, can you put your hand there?
Mm-hmm.
If that part of you had a voice, what would it say to Mom?
Tight, chest, tightness. Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Can't you see this is hurting me?
Why?
It's hurting me.
Why?
Why?
No, it's all involved in itself. It's not even, it's like, yeah, why, I guess. It's like, why? Can't you see this is hurting me? I'll try it on. Why?
I can't make any sense of this.
I can't make any sense of this.
It's a barrage of pain coming at me.
Barrage of pain coming at me.
Shutting down. I'm hiding. Oh, this is too much. This is too much.
This is too much.
Why?
This is no.
There's
Stop. Snap out of it. Snap out of it. Why? Where are you?
Where are you? I can't find you. You're in this big, crazy haze. Correct that if it's wrong.
What is going on?
Whoa.
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm not no one. I'm not nothing.
No, I'm not listening anymore.
No.
I'm not listening to you anymore. No, you're not safe to listen to.
You're not safe to listen.
You're not safe to listen to. No. No. I'm going to block it. No.
Block it.
Block this for me. Talk over this. I can't, and I'm not you.
Okay, let's see that.
Well, hellfire is one way that you can do to block it. Become bigger, louder, more. They win Academy Awards for it. People win Academy Awards for yelling into a camera and screaming at these people in a way that we all want to see people scream. No! I just saw it the other night on the Oscar telecast.
Did you see what he said? That's what I wanted to say to you.
Yeah, he's able to do that. I saw Adam, Driver, do it in the little clip for the Oscars. Jack Nicholson. They are screaming at their past for us. That is what he's serving. That's what he does, and that is what the artist does. Because it was not an easy road here.
The artist synthesizes that and lets me say what I want to say to you that I can't say to you.
I can't say that to you. You'd break. You'd break. You'd crumble. You'd evaporate. With her?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I can't say that to you. You'd break, you'd crumble, you'd evaporate.
You better not talk to me like that. You better never talk to me like that. You remember this hand and this ring. You better never talk to me that way. And this guy, whew, I don't even, I hate that. I hate that. And I told you many times, that I hate being yelled at by my father. I would rather have gotten spanked than yelled at. I do not want that. Do not raise your voice to me. Do not talk to me that way.
Reverse roles.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, that's what I know that to be true.
Yeah, I won't do that.
I'm not going to do that. He'll do that. He'll do that. He will go through a very elaborate life. He will go through a very elaborate, lifelong psychodrama. Going to drama school, going to 7 years so he can be in a play and finally get a character that can yell to finally get that out. And I saw that when I was in graduate school. That's what these people are doing. They're going through all this ritual to just be okay to express what's pent up. When in psychodrama, we can just do it.
So would it be okay with you if this guy came a little closer to you and together you could say what you want to say?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't want to rage at this frail woman. And I don't know if that's right or whether it's wrong, but I don't want that. I do want her to be an ancillary witness to the anger that's in there.
So can you, with the help
Yeah.
of this guy, say some things to Mom that she can hear? Because what happens when we get traumatized like this is our thinking becomes black and white. And as the devil, I would say, I'm afraid my rage will annihilate you, and the only other gear I have in your presence is withdrawal and shutting down.
Or entertainer.
Or entertainer. I that works. I can entertain you. And I can let things slip out as an entertainer that I couldn't let slip out from here.
Right.
Correct that if it's wrong.
No, that's all sounds about right.
But I am wanting to say a few things to you as Dion. Measured things. Words. So sit up straight and listen.
I'm wanting to say a few measured things to you as Dion. I have had a bad rap, difficult time, black sheep of the family, to say the least. Kind of role for a number of years I had it. I also have hero too, which came in later, but a lot of that stuff was not mine. I was really, the wiring got really messed up. And there was a lot of rage and anger and things that I was told clearly, just you couldn't have your feelings. You just couldn't have your feelings or express them. And there were just tremendous frustrations and difficulties with being the only brown kid in our neighborhood, you know, and trying to express that or deal with my own racial identity. And
this guy had an identity of his own. Gave me a break from you, gave me a break from the racial issues, gave me a break from, correct that if it's wrong?
Well, this guy came in and I resonated with him because I saw people on TV that like had wigs on, put on different noses and makeup, and I said, oh, that would be a way to get some of these feelings out, to be these other people and to take on these characters. And you know, and there I am on television doing all of these different characters. And so this guy helped me out.
So when I think,
but it could just never be me. It could never be me, in my mind, that was really expressing this stuff, sadness, any range of something that was beyond flatline.
Could you sit right in between,
yep.
right in the middle, and talk from the middle? Keep this part that you want,
yes.
and integrate this part.
Well, this is both of us. This is the best of it. This is me at my best, really. Me at my best is not fully in that mode and not fully in this mode. And present, able to deal with you compassionately but also to deal with you clearly. You know, I'm upset that I miss you. It's the other part. You died in 2005, 15 years ago at the time of this recording. And I miss you, and I want to share with you what my life has become beyond those difficulties that I experienced earlier. Because I wasn't just the yelling.
I'm going to tell you about what my life has become.
My life has become very rich, and my ability to relate to people has become more nuanced. I can have intimacy with people, emotional, healthy intimacy with people. People look to me for things. They involve me in things that are not just for my entertainment value. I have more value than just as a cipher for somebody else's humorous ideas. I'm not just a performer. And that's all I really was for you. As I'm saying that, I'm realizing you didn't make me do that adjustment. But I did that adjustment. And part of me wants you to know that, and I wish we could have worked through and you could have gotten to know me more. That's all. I wish you could have gotten to know me more. I wish I could have gotten to know me sooner. I didn't. I accept that. But that's what's in me right now. And what's integrating right now, and this is not even with my mom, this is just what's integrating, is that there's good here in this compensatory person that evolved. And there's good here in my real wounded feeling self. But I vacillate wildly still between these two. And I think that's very helpful to put my finger on.
And it feels like I can say that from this middle place.
Yeah, I can say that from this middle place because I'm not enraged in a role at you. And I'm not completely scared and retracted as a child and giving up. It's a middle place.
And I need all of this to move into another role.
I need the strength that I got from this, the fun, the charm, the fun, the confidence of this, but it's not entirely me. And I could never show you what was entirely me because you couldn't handle it. You couldn't handle the fact that it was painful to hear your words. It was painful to grow up with no information about my mixed racial ancestry. It was painful that you were medicated. A lot of these things were painful. I could not, did not, would not show you all of me. And that's, something I can, I guess, regret or not regret. I don't know how.
You were my world.
You were my total world.
So when I couldn't show you all of me, I thought the world couldn't see all of me.
Yeah, I thought the world couldn't see all of me. And I recognize now at my age now that I'm just starting to allow the world to see all of me. And this is why I'm having such a stuttery relationship with the role player. And I'm not putting myself out there to go get other roles. And people say to me, what are you talking about? Like, you should have an agent. You should be out there doing this. But I withhold it because I'm angry at the fact that I had to do that. I had to be this. There was no choice. Yes, I'm facile at doing it, but I had no choice. No one wants to be forced to do anything, no matter how dynamic or wonderful or entertaining it is. And so,
from here, I feel like I have a choice.
Oh, from here I have a choice.
From here I have a choice.
From here I have a choice, yes.
I can take parts of it.
Yes, and I wasn't aware of all this even before this session. This has been extremely enlightening. Mm-hmm. I think I can make use of this. I think I can really make use of it.
So Dion, if we were in a group, you would have group members sharing with you what came up for them, witnessing your psychodrama. And that would help you, first of all, integrate, come off of moonwalking, reintegrate back into the group, and know that other people were there with you, identifying with you. Because it's, when you go that deep, it's an unusual experience, right? It's a little like a dream walk.
Yeah.
And that process with the group is healing for you, and it's healing for them because they share what they identify with and what came up for them witnessing your drama. But in one-to-one, we don't have that So I just want to give you a chance to talk about whatever you need to talk about to keep processing.
And does this differ from the soliloquy in any way,
Yeah,
or would this go right into it?
No, this is just talking.
Just talking. Okay,
yeah,
just
the
talking.
Soliloquy would be before.
Just us talking.
Yeah.
I would say that. Well, a minute ago we were setting up this camera stuff for this other shot, and Tian says, "Well, you have a lot of focus. That's good, because we've been focused in doing this for a while here today." And then I immediately thought it had a lot to do with the work, because I had purged what I purged in the work. It makes me able to just be and stay, and it gives me energy. It's energizing to do that. It's energizing to purge those ghosts, because they're all, as I imagine it, they're all locked up and trapped in there, and it just wears on your energy. You're using energy in weird ways to keep hatches shut and stuff, And like all of that stuff was just blown open, obviously, with I didn't go to a sorrow place. I noticed that too, and just to be real full in my transparency, which I think will help the overall process, is that off camera, I set a boundary at one point where I said, well, because this will be public and things, and I do psychodrama. I do psychodrama training with Tian, and then my own group for my own personal therapy. I thought that it was going to feel safer for me not to go beyond a certain point, and I knew that, I felt it, and I stopped, and I felt good about that, and I wanted to just mention it.
So there's internal boundaries that
there's internal boundaries that I'm honoring,
respecting them, yeah.
And the energy to keep going. I think this work is not enervating and wearying. It's energizing, and I just feel better. I mean, I'm gonna not take my stuff out on anybody else today for another 24 hours because I took it out on the empty chair, really. Well,
I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking that talk therapy, you keep thinking about it, you keep processing it and working those moments of enlightenment, right? That talk therapy can very much produce, happen spontaneously and organically in psychodrama, and you get to relieve the body, and you get to integrate the roles we carry on the inside. So I think that's part of what's such a relief, maybe.
The relieving the body, just to have you say it that way and see you do that gesture. It's exactly how it feels. And it doesn't feel like, I have done it before where I've been in where you go in and you stay at the place and you do psychodrama for like a week. And sometimes I felt myself, now I'm not saying this is the way they coached me into it or anything, but it felt like I was determined from the beginning that I was going to have a big purgative moment, a big dramatic moment where I was like hitting something or yelling, and I was going to get there. But it wasn't organic.
Well,
I tasked myself with
it. Well, and also you might have been dealing with people who had one of the differences between experiential therapy and psychodrama, in my mind, is that experiential therapy is filled with goals and expectations. And I think that is codependency making. And I think it's therapist-centric. And it also puts the client in a position of, did I fulfill these expectations? Did I meet them? Did I fulfill mine? Did I fulfill theirs? Whereas psychodrama should feel like your internal process. I should feel like I'm just helping you move forward the drama that is coming forward in you. And that, for me, is key in directing. And not all directors understand that, I don't think. And I want to, if I have one thing to say, it's be zen when you direct. Have no expectations. Be there in service of the protagonist's inner world and allow it to unfold as it is meant to, because then the protagonist has the experience of being empowered.
That's
and
right.
Then there is no failure, because you work it till it works. There is just moving, there is no expectation.
I've heard it said, I don't know where I heard this, maybe you said it, that the protagonist does not owe you a catharsis.
That's Zerka's line. I quoted Zerka. Your protagonist does not owe you a catharsis.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you say more just about the? You said, well, that could lead to codependency.
Well, I think when somebody is putting themselves in the role of a client, that's a very vulnerable, trusting act in a sense, and you come there with a this kind of openness and a desire to get to know yourself, right? So if I use that openness by telling you who you are, then I'm not letting you build your own autonomy and get to know yourself. I'm giving you yet another hurdle to climb over. Because people, we have to understand as therapists, we are important voices. It's like what you have to understand as a mother or a grandmother. You are a very important voice in that person's life. So, really, in psychodrama, it's as much about, as a director, what you don't do is what you do. There's a lot of standing and listening, standing and holding. What I'm left with as a director, you have an experience of relief, and I think that's so beautiful. I have an experience of holding. I have an experience of, I will need now to go and shake off what I have held. You shouldn't look at our drama and be seeing me. The eye should be on you. It's your drama. I mean, therapists might watch to see what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, for a training tape. But basically, the action is centered in you, the protagonist. The story emerges from you, the protagonist. And the respect for your process is the first thing to do. And the moment I come in with sort of expectations or end up there or, give me a this or I want you there, no. This is your stage. I'm here in service of your inner world.
It was interesting because we had a number of artificial constraints because we were filming today. So the chair distances were maybe different than they would have been, and we could. I was trying to face toward camera rather than look upstage at her. So there were subtle little differences, but it still functioned with those limitations. And watching the video, I think real pros are going to notice that there was a little bit of the eye contact. So let me ask you, having done this for so many years, the eye contact stuff today, since it was artificial, did that come up on your radar? Was it an issue of any kind?
Not at all, because your eye contact is meant to be with the roles you're talking to. There's no eye contact with me, essentially. I experience myself as rather invisible.
Interesting.
On stage, but invisible. Which I'm a youngest child in a very gregarious Greek family, and I had a lot of attention, but I felt invisible. Not in a bad way. And I just didn't feel, I felt I had great freedom because nobody was really watching me, and yet I did get attention. So when I do psychodrama, it's very natural for me because I don't experience myself as being watched. I experience myself as a little bit invisible, here to be part of what's happening.
Well, in a group recently of ours, I remembered you giving the instruction or the guidance that there are some of you here that don't have theater backgrounds, and there's some of you that do. And those of you that do are going to understand what it is to come in without taking. You remember that?
Yes.
I thought that was really interesting.
Well, that was because what Dion's talking about is doubling. Group members, I love group members to double. If we had a group here, they would have been free to double anytime. And the way to do that, if you're a group member, is very spontaneously and very without ego or vanity. So that means as you walk up to double, because it's a spontaneous thing, right? I know what to say, I feel their inner world, I need to double. So that means that group member has to just be behind your back before anybody thinks about it. If they're taking a slow walk to behind your back, or if they're themselves coming up shy, do you want me? It becomes all about them rather than in service of you.
Right.
So they can
Right.
take the focus, because the whole notion of entering a psychodramatic trance state is why that deep repatterning can take place. And we want to do nothing to disengage you from that psychodramatic trance state,
Mm.
which you go into quite easily. But the not all protagonists do, but that's where the gold is from my point of view. And it's very tricky to keep the group at that point aware of. Over time, groups understand that needs total respect. And when somebody jumps up to double, they have to walk over the way people in a play walk, saying, "Babe, don't look at me." There's a way to do it, and they have to do that. And then they double with full respect also. If it's not right, don't wear it. It's a privilege to be standing in someone's inner world.
Mm.
So if it's not right, don't wear it. And what else about doubling? This kind of double. If they're kind of doubling and then leaning back, and should I double? Should I not? Then it becomes like a badly dubbed movie. I mean, you've moved on to another space, and they're doubling what happened like 2 minutes ago, which in your space at the time is eons ago. It's another time in space, so it feels jarring to the protagonist.
Wow.
So doubling is a real art.
Well, I'll just say, not to be too neat and wrap it all up, I will say this was very helpful. And I heard somebody say one time that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing with your life if, when you're doing it, you're unaware of the clock. And when I'm doing this stuff, I am unaware of the clock. So thank you for having me and letting me participate.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me participate. So I'm wondering, Dion, if you want to just do a soliloquy of this new space you found. Usually when we do a soliloquy, it's walking and talking. But I think because we're filming this, we'll just suspend that disbelief and let you do it from here, if that works for you.
That works. That's fine.
Okay.
And then can I go?
It's just your Hamlet moment. And narrate your anything. It's you. It's yours.
Okay. And please, I'm way out there now, so I guide me whenever you need to.
Got it.
I don't know 100% what I just went through. It'll be interesting to see it, because I feel like I did go somewhere with you. I let myself go. It was small in terms of what was uncovered, but it was very important, and it was very much to the task at hand in my life right now, my soul's work. It was very much the next little piece that I needed to integrate, and it was the ones that stay with me now as important were, well, I guess maybe not the most important, but the one I can remember is, I don't need to tell you. I don't need her to believe it or know it. It's not there. The locus of groundedness and authority is here. And I can't say I could have put that into words before today, and then I was aware of that. The other one is, it really surprised me how much power was ready to come out when the actor yelled for him, for me.
I got something. I made a connection.
Yeah, please.
I made a connection. I understood the power of this role.
Oh,
and
I made a connection. I made a connection.
And I'm keeping him.
Yeah, and I understood the power of this role.
This role. I'm not annihilating this role or this role or this role.
Yeah.
I'm adding another role.
And I realized how extreme my just base level thought is when it comes to making adjustments. It's one or the other. And
the black and white.
Black and white.
All or nothing.
100%. And I'm aware of black and white thinking as a branded version of what ails you in this field, this space, but I didn't see that it was on me right there in that, that's the funny thing about knowing so much and then doing it. Because when I really saw that, and I was ready to cancel culture. I was ready to cancel this actor. But he has been, and that's why I kept saying, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him. I guess I thought I should be mad at him, because you got to be mad at somebody before you can cut them out.
I kind of love the guy. Correct that.
Of course, I love the guy. I love the guy. He's well-meaning. He is of service. I didn't see that.
He's loaded with talent.
He has talent. He's funny. He's got capacity. He's got effectiveness. And
he'll get out there and he will throw it out there.
He'll throw it out there, man. You give him the mic and the spotlight, and if he needs to take control of a room and keep these people entertained or convey a little nugget of wisdom, and with my writing for him, he is like, there's a long history of comedians who have writers, but I can be the writer really for my own persona that I put out there. And that could be completely unhealthy.
In a room full of writers, when I do spontaneous work, when I do role plays, when I do improv, everybody becomes a co-writer. Correct that if it's wrong.
Well, yes, they do. They do in a group improv. But that's another area where I have been too dominant, where improv is all about at its best, it's all about giving up the ego and getting in there and collaborating and yes-anding, which I can do, and on my best days I have done it extremely well, except for there was a huge other part of me that wanted to be comedian, the only one speaking, storyteller, comedian, teacher, and that jarred with the improv stuff.
I just get like him. I think if I let in any of that stuff, I'm going to disappear.
Yeah, that's right. And people get young again. People can't even believe that is the truth of me, because I'm 6'3", and for me to talk about disappearing is ridiculous. But there's a little kid in there who feels like he's going to disappear. And
I learned that with you.
I learned that with my mom. Is that what the offer is?
I learned it in a lot of places, maybe.
I definitely
wear it if it feels right. If it doesn't, don't wear
it. Well, where the thought was going was, I have taken on. Okay, when you're too big in an improv group, people get hurt. They disappear. You take up too much space. And when I would see their hurt, I would not acknowledge it or say, you're right, you know what? I would just push harder and defend myself, because I didn't see all of this that was going on. I had no compassionate view of why I was doing it.
Well, it became him.
Yeah, I became him.
And the more other people took up space, the more I had to, trumpet.
Yeah.
One-up it.
Trumpet. And that's a good word to use for these days, because, while I see a number of people disown the dark side that is out there in the public, that is, that's not what I want to do. I want to say, okay,
I want to incorporate.
I want to incorporate the bad behavior and make use of what's good that's there.
And I want to understand him. I want to understand him.
Well, I want to function like when a Japanese artist makes a circle. He just does it. Look, there it is. I don't want to be all stutter step and should I, and I'm too big, and then you're offended, but they like me, and then the circle looks like a gosh darn, craziness. I want to go. I want to be able to make a Japanese incline that does not have any neurotic perturbations registered in the line. I want to be like, that's the best way I can put it. Domo arigato.
Domo arigato.